On the following grid, draw a line through 4, 2 with a slope of 1/3. Determine the equation of this line in point-slope form, slope-intercept form, and general form. To graph a line given a point and a slope, first plot the point given. Then use the slope to plot a second point. Use the idea that slope is equal to rise over run, or y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. As an example, for a slope of 3/4, starting from the given point, move 3 units up and 4 units right. Or we could also move 3 units down and 4 units left. Note that for a positive slope, the rise and run are either both positive or both negative. For a negative slope, either the rise or run is negative and the other is positive. Here we first plot the point 4, 2. From this point, we move up 1 and right 3. This corresponds to the slope of 1/3. Rise is 1 and run is 3. This gives us the point 7, 3. Note we could also move left 3 and down 1. This also corresponds to a slope of 1/3. This gives the point 1, 1. We can repeat this process to get several more points if desired. From the point 7, 3, we move 1 up and 3 right, giving the point 10, 4. From 1, 1, we can move left 3 and down 1 to get the point -2, 0. And left 3 and down 1 to the point -5, -1. And left 3 and down 1 again to the point -8, -2. We draw a line through these points, remembering to put an arrow on both ends. Note that we really only needed 2 points to draw the line. For the equation of this line, first of all, in point-slope form. An equation in point-slope form has the form y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Here, the m corresponds to the slope, and x1, y1 is any point on the line. In this case, the slope is 1/3, and the point, x1, y1, is 4, 2. We could have used any point on the line, but we'll use the point that was given. The left side of the equation is y minus 2, since the y value of the point we're using is 2. This is equal to 1/3, the slope of the line, times x minus 4, as the x-coordinate of the point used is 4. This then gives the equation in point-slope form. For the equation in slope-intercept form, this is y equals mx plus b. Again, the m corresponds to the slope, and here the b corresponds to the y-intercept. To obtain the equation in slope-intercept form, simply isolate for y and remove the brackets. Starting from point-slope form, we can add 2 to both sides to isolate the y. We then expand through the brackets. 1/3 times x minus 4. This gives 1/3 x minus 4/3. And we still have the plus 2. Combining the like terms, in this case, -4/3 plus 2 gives us y equals 1/3 x plus 2/3 as the equation in slope-intercept form. Finally, for the equation in general form. For general form, the equation will be ax plus by plus c equals 0. Here, a is an element of the set of whole numbers, as a should not be negative. both b and c should be integers. a, b, and c should be relatively prime. This means that they can have no common factors other than the number 1. Another commonly used form for linear equations is called standard form. Standard form is very similar to general form, the only difference being that the constant term, c, is moved to the right side of the equation. This gives us ax plus by equals c. Note that in this case, the c would have the opposite sign as it would have for the same line in general form. To get the equation in general form, first remove the fractions by multiplying the entire equation by the least common denominator. Then arrange the terms, giving 0 on the right side of the equation. Starting here from slope-intercept form, we first multiply the entire equation by 3, the only denominator, and thus the lowest common denominator, to remove the fractions. This results in 3y equals x plus 2. We want the coefficient of the x to be positive, so here we will leave the x plus 2 on the right side and subtract 3y from both sides, making the left side of the equation equal to 0. This then gives us 0 equals x minus 3y plus 2. We can then rewrite the equation so that the x minus 3y plus 2 is on the left side of the equation and the right side is equal to 0, giving the equation in general form. X minus 3y plus 2 equals 0.